Number 14 is negative 11. Number 16 is negative 70. Number 18 is negative 60. Number 20 is negative 34. 22 is 43. 24 is 3/4 n minus 14 equals negative 8, and then when you solve it, you get positive 8. Number 26 is n plus 2 plus n plus 4 equals negative 84. And when you solve it, you get negative 30, negative 28, and negative 26. Number 28 is n plus 1 plus n plus 2 plus n plus 3 equals 54. And when you solve it, you get 12, 13, 14, 15. Number 30 is negative 5 and 1/3. 32 is 27. 34 is 96. And 36 is negative 4. 38 is negative 3/4. And 40 is n plus 1 plus n plus 2 equals 96. And you get 31, 32, and 33. What questions do we have on that lesson?
14.
22, 14, and something else.
Wait, 12 was what?
Negative 1.
Okay. 22 is 22 minus w over 3 equals negative 7. So, what should we get rid of first? Yeah, I think that sounds good. How do we get rid of it? Multiply 3 on both sides. What's 3 times negative 7? Negative 21. Now what should we do?
Divided by 22.
It's not multiplied.
Subtract it.
I'm going to subtract 22. So what's negative 21 minus 22?
Negative 43.
Now what? We can't have that negative. How do we get rid of it?
Add it. Add.
It's not minus 1. How is it attached to the w? It's not added. There's an invisible 1 right here, and we've got a number right next to the letter. How's it attached? How is it attached? So do we divide it off? All right, what else?
14.
14. Is 9x plus 27 equals negative 72. What should we get rid of first? Sounds good. How do we get rid of it? We subtract it because it's added. Do the inverse to get rid of it. We've got 9x. Negative 72 minus 27 is what? Negative 99. Now what? Divide the 9 off. So x equals negative 11.
Can we do 18?
Sure. 18 is k over 3 plus 4 equals negative 16. What should we get rid of first?
4.
The 4 is a great idea. How do we get rid of the 4?
Subtract it.
We subtract it. That's true.
Yeah, I did took off the 3 first.
So if you were to get rid of the 3 first, you would have to multiply everything times 3. So then you would end up with k plus 12 equals negative 16. That make sense? Yes, no, yes.
No.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. If you got rid of this 3, you have to multiply everything by 3. So that's why this would turn into a 12. You'll actually get the same answer if you do that. It's easier to get rid of addition and subtraction first. So we have k over 3 equals negative 20. Now what? It's divided now. So k equals negative 60. Sure. 24 says 14 less than 3/4 of a number is negative 8. So remember, what did I remind us of last class? What are we supposed to think when we see the word than? Put it at the end. So 14 less than, so less is minus, right? So, but it's going to be minus 14 at the end. 14 less than 3/4 of a number is negative 8.
Yeah, I put the 14 at the very end.
That makes sense. Does this make sense?
I basically just reversed the 14 and the 3/4 end.
Yeah. When we have less than, we've got to make sure we put it at the end because it changes it. 3/4 n equals positive 6. How do we get rid of the 3/4?
Divide by
Divide by 3/4, and which, when we divide by fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal.
What's a vertice?
A corner.
Corner? Okay, just making sure.
N equals 8.
Can you do?
I see a confused face. What are you thinking, buddy?
I got 16. I don't know how. I don't. No, it's changed.
I got negative 29 and 1/3 because I put that.
Yeah, didn't work.
That's annoying. I don't know. It's like,
All right, what else questions do we have?
I didn't get the like the 26, 28, 30, 26, 28, 40.
We do.
The consecutive integer problems? Didn't I do one of those in the video, or am I remembering a different class?
You did, it just I didn't know how you got a number.
We do 30.
30, 28, and one of the consecutive integer problems. 30, you probably just made a mistake.
30 is easy.
I don't know what order, how the order was.
What does consecutive mean?
Together, like
In a row, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, in a row. Absolutely. Yeah. So we want to find 4 consecutive integers with a sum of 54. What does sum mean? Add. So this one plus this one plus this one plus that one, right? So if the first integer is n, say the first integer is 6, how do I get to the next one?
You add.
Add 1, which will give us 7. How do I get from here to the next one?
Add 2.
Add 2. How do I get to the next one? Add 3. Now, if we wanted even integers like 26, then if I wanted to get the next even integer, what would I have to do?
Plus 2.
Plus 2. And then plus 4. Okay? So going back here, the first integer is n, the next one will be n plus 1, the next one will be n plus 2, the next one will be n plus 3, right? Right? So sum means add them up. So this plus this plus this plus this. So n plus 1 plus n plus 2 plus n plus 3 equals 54. And then we just got to solve that. How many n's are there? 4 n's. And then 1 plus 2 plus 3 is what?
6.
Subtract 6 from both sides. 4n equals 48. And divide by 4 equals 12. So the first one is 12. The next one's 13, 14, 15.
Can you end at like 12, 13, 14? Do you have?
It says to find 4 consecutive integers. So, no, you cannot. It depends on what it asks for on the problem. Yeah. I think in the video, whatever, and then on 26, it says find 3. I thought I did. Didn't I do one of these? Yeah.
You did a consecutive one and an even one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Are you sure you watched the right video?
pretty even number.
Quit watching it at 2x speed. Oh, okay. Make sure you watch the whole thing.
So if it keep that end part right there. So if it was like instead of 4, if it was 3, you would only do you wouldn't do the 3 part.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 2, it'd be
So
that
it's
part.
Only
It was just find a number. That's like a normal problem.
if it says like 4, then it would do 4 ends.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Isn't there always a 1 in front of the n? Or
Yeah, if the n is just by itself, there's a 1 in front of it.
n plus n1, so would it be 1 n plus 1 n?
Yeah, which would be 2, right? And then plus another 1n plus another 1n is a total of 4 n's. That's why it ended up being 4n plus 6 when we combine like terms.
Can you use 38?
Sure. Negative 1/5 minus 4/9 a, right? 2/15. Okay, what should we get rid of first?
The 4
That's multiply. I don't want to get rid of that first, because then I got to multiply everything by 9/4, and it just gets uglier and uglier. So let's get rid of the 1/5 first. How do we get rid of the 1/5? Add it. Now watch here. Watch what I'm doing. Plus 1/5 plus 3/15, right? Because this times 3/3. Now we've got a common denominator. We don't even need no stinking calculator, right? Negative 4/9 a equals, what's 2/15 plus 3/15? 5/15, which is 1/5. Okay, now what do we need to get rid of?
We had to get 5/1/5.
I got 5 over 15. Because 2 plus 3 is 5. Right?
There's just a dot right there, so I was like,
Ah. Now what do we do?
Divide four less.
Yes, how do we divide fractions?
divided by it.
Multiply by the reciprocal times negative 9 fourths times negative 9 fourths. So A equals negative 9 twentieths.
I got -2 and 8/9
It's 3.
somehow.
Oh,
Because
we're gonna no something. Did we do something wrong?
I did negative.
I got
4/9
3/4.
first.
And you said
Because
that was
yeah,
I did the 4/9.
3 9 by 3 20 divided by 3 is not 4. So I must have done something wrong. Where's the mistake? Let's find it. Did I make a copy mistake? Negative 1/5, negative 4/9, 2/15. We added 1/5. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 1 is 1. 2 plus 3 is 5/15. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Oh, there it is. That's 1/3, right? So 9. So we can pre-reduce to 1 and 3, and it turns into negative 3/4.
Yeah, I got 3/4.
If you got 3/4, that's wrong. But if you got negative 3/4,
Negative.
that's accurate.
Negative.
Good job. So proud.
Oh, man.
What other questions, kiddos?
40. Well, no, I did the deal wrong.
What?
I did the numbers wrong.
Oops.
Because I don't know how I wrote them from the video, because I couldn't really understand it. And I didn't want to go back to the video to see. So I just.
You
wrote
don't
it
know
out
how to,
loud.
you wrote them from the video. It was on the Google Classroom, the homework assignment. What are you talking about? I don't understand what you're saying.
How I did all, I did like n plus n plus 2 plus n plus 4. It's all
Oh, yeah. So you got lazy and then you broke them. But now you fixed it, so it's all good. So choices get made sometimes, but often, not always, some choices are irrecoverable. It's just broken forever. But most choices, even the bad ones, are recoverable from. They're not the end of the world. What? This class has the easiest math. This is my hardest class. Because it's my least favorite class to teach. It's not because of you people. Y'all are fine, more or less. But
fine. Just fine.
Just
it's
imagine-
better than teaching that one,
It's probably because the
but
makes no
it's still not as fun.
What's the funnest class?
Probably Algebra 2. It would be pre-cal, but pre-cal, the problem with pre-cal, pre-cal is great, and I love the trig. When we get to those units, that's so much fun. The problem with pre-cal is so much. Like, we did this lesson today, or it's assigned for Thursday. Then in Algebra 2, it's like 3 or 4 lessons. And then in pre-cal, it's 1 lesson all in one. And so pre-cal, it's just a lot of stuff. So Algebra 2 is probably my favorite. But pre-cal's fun, because pre-cal, a good chunk of pre-cal is like, okay, we're gonna do Algebra 2 again, but now you get a graphing calculator. So,
How about pre-K?
no, never in a million years would I teach pre-K math. There ain't no way. There ain't no way. I would never, I mean, don't say never, I guess, but I would never teach an elementary class, ever. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. And I mostly mean public school, because I don't want to be stuck with the same kids all day. But I wouldn't even do it for homeschool stuff, because elementary math is boring. I can barely handle doing like pre-algebra and algebra 1.
Let's do 1 plus 1.
What are you doing to my table? Stop it.
Child.
Any other questions from this lesson? Okay, we should do a test. I mean, quiz.
Wait, yeah, we want homework.
We did 2 lessons.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Thank you.
No, we don't need to do this. Let's just.
Oh, yeah, let's just fail these problems when you get to it on the test. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
No, Corbanus, we are going to go do the next lesson because this is Tuesday. Would you keep your feet out of the way? I have like 2 feet to my. Y'all have all that space. Scoot back a little if you need to.
They were both thinking the exact same thing.
What did we do? 2 through 24?
11, 10 through
10 through 36. Okay. Number 10 is 6. Number 12 is 1. 14 is -2. 16 is -2. 18 is 14. 20 is 4. 22 is 8. 24 is -27, -25, -23. Excuse me. 26 is no solution. 28 is all numbers. 30 is -4/3. 32 is 12. 34 is 5. And 36 is -12.5 or -12.5. What questions do you have from that one?
All of them. Except the first two. A lot of them I put no solution.
Wait,
Mostly all.
what was 36?
1, 2, 3,
4.
-12.5.
5, 6. Some of them I put no solution.
Okay, well, those are wrong. What questions do we have?
Can we do 14?
Sure.
Yeah, 14.
What?
I left almost all of our processed out. Because I got like no answer. I don't know. I didn't.
There's 2 ways to start this particular problem. What should we do? Distribute is fine. That's totally fine. Okay, let's distribute the 4.
We're on 14?
Yes.
Oh.
4 times r is what?
4.
4 times 4 is what?
16.
You were right to begin with, 16. Now what should we do?
Plus the minus the 16.
Subtract 16. 8 minus 16 is what?
-8.
-8.
Oh.
Now what should we do?
Divide by 8.
Divide by 4, which might have been what you meant. I don't know. Because the 4 is the one that's on the r, right? I know 8 is on the side we usually divide from, right? But we're trying to get the variable by itself, right? So r equals what? No.
-10.
Yeah. Great. All right, what else?
This is. I wrote it down wrong.
How do you know? You don't even have your book out.
No, right here.
This problem you wrote down wrong? No.
This was 16?
This was 16.
No, we said 14.
14 is what you said? Well, I heard 16.
I wrote this down wrong.
Okay.
For some reason I did. Instead of.
I did.
14. B minus 4 over 6 equals B over 2.
I don't know.
I got rid of.
This is like just a proportion.
I don't know what
For some reason I got rid of
I
B
didn't write
first.
an answer. I don't know.
I got rid of E first.
Yeah. I asked Taylor's help. She did not get me right.
6 times
What do we need to do?
Get rid of 6.
6.
Sure, why not? How do we do that?
6 times 2.
I mean, multiply.
No, multiply.
Okay. 2 times 6.
Be up. 6.
It's not 2 times 6. That 2 is in the denominator.
Sheesh. 2 times. So it's just 6.
It's 3b. Because we can pre-reduce, right? Divide by 2, divide by 2. 3 times b is 3b,
No,
right?
it's 6 and B. And 6 and 6. Because it's
No, 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 no. No, it's not.
no, I wouldn't have joke because the field.
Okay. Oh, I see. But you understand, yes? Okay. 3b. Now what?
Plus the 4.
Okay.
No, we can't do that, right?
We can do that.
Doctor?
I don't, it's
Isn't
not, I'm not sure that it was helpful, but we can do it.
To get rid of the 4.
We're not gonna bounce the 4 back and forth and back and forth. I'm not gonna do that. I'll do it once. That's fine, but we're not gonna just bounce the 4 back and forth and back and forth.
E divided by
That's like the video where the guy's like, okay, 12 minus 6. Okay, so we've got to borrow. And 12, and then we've got 12 minus 6. And then, it doesn't do, so we've got to borrow. So we've got, and then he pays whatever, and he's got the board filled up with whatever. It's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. That's not what we're doing.
it's 1
Why did
divided
they change
by
sides?
3.
Because Corbin said, and I was willing to indulge that once.
I'm sorry, guys.
1 divided by
I don't get why you
3.
changed signs.
Those we've got the B's separate. They're like not. No, we don't. You like fractions? You like fractions, bro?
Yes.
We got the B's separated. We got to get them together.
1 divided by 3.
Stop saying that. I just said no. We don't like fractions. No. Well, fractions are fine, but like we don't want to add extra fractions.
Get rid of B3.
Yeah, that's a great idea. How?
Divide.
Subtract.
If we want to move something from one side to the other, you're either adding it or subtracting it. Which one would we do to this to move it? Subtract it. So minus 3b and minus 3b.
2,
Okay.
negative 2B.
Negative 2b, that's right. Now what would we do?
Get rid of the 4.
The 4 is minding his own business. Leave him alone.
Divided by 4.
Negative 2.
Why did you switch Corbin? That was so hard.
No, it wasn't. It would have been the same either way. Well, it would have been the same. Like from here on, it would have been the same. We would have just gone the other. We would have just done this, right? B equals negative 2.
I did that. Actually, that was
I got negative 3. Just negative 3 by itself.
Okay. Well, make sure you're looking and you're understanding what you did wrong and how to do it correctly, right? That's what we need to do. We've said that lots of times, and we'll say it again. Make sure you understand what you did and how to, and more importantly, how to do it right.
It was obvious because I got rid of B. Oh,
You somehow disappeared the B. Okay.
Can you do 36?
We can do 36.
I was just about to say.
36. Got a bunch of nested parentheses. Probably. I don't know. Actually, I think, I could be wrong. I'd have to look it up. But I think parentheses is one of those words that's both plural and singular. I think. But I could be lying.
How do you
Prove it.
roll?
Words like that aren't normal.
We're going into a reading lesson in math, kids.
Add the parentheses.
Add parentheses.
Distribute children. You mean the bracket?
Parentheses are brackets. They're round brackets.
And
Those are square brackets.
squiggly brackets.
And you have triangle brackets.
What is
That's
the-
totally something else.
Distribute the.
Curly braces is what those are usually
What
called.
does a triangle bracket look like? An even sign?
Alligator?
Less than, yeah.
Alligator.
Alligators.
What should I do?
Distribute.
Distribute what?
Whatever.
Distribute the negative 4. Es muy importante to understand that this is a negative 4 because that would be an easy mistake to make and to not distribute the negative.
No one else.
Okay, so 5 times 2p minus 4p minus 20, right?
20. I got 15. Oh, well, that's how I'm
I did something
Okay,
right.
what should we do now?
Distribute the 5 onto each of them.
You could, or we could simplify the inside first.
Subtract
2.
20.
No, we can't get rid of the 20 till we get rid of the brackets, but we do have some like terms, right? What do we do with the like terms? What's 2p plus negative 4p?
It's not long.
P.
And it took you so long is the question.
It's okay.
Okay. Now what?
Now
Distribute the 5. We could have distributed the 5 here. That's definitely possible, but
So can you
we also could have just divided the 5 off because it's multiplied times everything, but this is fine.
so can you distribute as how long ever?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, seconds, right?
Yeah, so like this would be like 10p minus 20p minus 120p, or not p, but yeah.
You could distribute,
And then you still would combine like terms next, so yeah,
so you could distribute 50 things.
you could. You absolutely could. So what's 5 times negative 2p?
What, Joe?
Negative 10p.
Negative 10p. What's 5 times negative 20?
Negative 100.
Negative.
Not negative 20.
Let's make it harder.
But why is it 120?
Because 5 times 20 is 120.
No, it's 100.
No. Oh yeah, it is. You're right. You're right.
Joe's right for the first time.
Now what?
Add 100.
Sounds good.
That makes sense.
Now what?
Divided by negative 10.
Because it's equal to.
I have a question. After we're done with this, can we do the distributed three-way to see how I messed up?
Sure. What's the answer? You don't need your calculator. How do you divide by 10? You just have to, you just do, what do? You just move the decimal over once.
12.1.
That's a 5. Negative 12.5. So if you distribute it that way, you'd end up with 10p minus 20p minus 100 equals, and then when you combine this, you get negative 10p, and from there, it's the same.
I got rid when I got after I distributed. I got
I forgot the
15.
negative on 10p.
There you go.
I got 15.
On
and I
this 10p,
Yes.
so you got positive 12.5?
I got 4 and 1/6.
Wait.
So 1/6 is a fraction version of that. No, it's not. That's a half. So you did something else wrong as well. So I don't know what you did.
4.6.
Probably got a decimal instead of 2 zeros I turned it.
No. Because that would have been 12 and 1/2, or whatever you said and a half. So it's still, so you still did something else wrong. Did you get 125 over here?
Yeah.
And then divide it, 125 divided by positive 10 would still be 12.5.
Positive 30.
Positive what?
30.
Yeah, so you didn't forget the negative 10. You made this positive maybe.
Or something.
Because 10 plus 20 is 30.
Because,
But so you forgot this negative existed.
it's because I added the 20 off of the 20p, and then I got 30p.
Yeah, you did this.
I did.
No, this is what you actually did. No, stop and listen. This is one more reason why I don't like teaching this grade level, because everybody thinks they're right. Listen, are you listening? This is what you did. You may have thought you were doing something else, but this is what you actually physically did, because that's how you would have gotten 30p. That's the only way to do that. I don't know what you thought you were doing, but this is what you did do. No, listen. I see you looking. You're not listening. This is how you got the number. This is the only way to get that number. You added. You may have done them both negative and then forgot to put the negative. That's possible. But somehow you added the two numbers. because 10 plus 20 equals 30, right? Right. So I don't know what you wrote, but that's what you, practically speaking, did. Yeah, see, look, you literally wrote add plus 20. That's, yeah, yeah.
I'm taking away then, yeah.
Yeah, that's what you, yeah. Oh, you were, okay. So what you wanted to be, this is what you did do. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But what you wanted to be doing was this for some reason. That's what you were trying to do. But that's not what you did do. Because these are the sides, right? You wouldn't add it to the same side. This is like if you wanted to add the 20p to get rid of it, which is what you were trying to do. It's not what you did do, but it's what you were trying to do, right? It would have been on this side and that side. And so this is a good thing to remember to not accidentally do in the future, right? So when we're trying to get rid of something, you wouldn't add it twice on the same side because that wouldn't be legal, right? That would be like saying, like if we had a problem where it's like x equals 3 and you were like, okay, plus 4 plus 4, right? Then you would be saying that 3 equals 11, which it doesn't, right? So whenever you're adding something, you have to do it on one side and then the other side of the equals. Does that make sense? Good. Good. You understand? We follow. So this is potentially a very great learning experience for everyone in the room. So good job. Way to go.
Good job, Corbin. Yay.
Way to go. I love it. Because you're not the only one who accidentally makes that mistake. And that's why I'm belaboring the point and making it like saying all these words to see what we did do and how you would do what you were trying to do. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? That's a yes or no question. Okay. Because if it doesn't, and we need to, and if you have a question about it, then ask it. That's fine. That's great. Because I want to make sure we understand what we're doing. Because a lot of times, if you get stuff right on a test or on a quiz or whatever or homework, and then you think you understand it, and then you get to a test, the problem was that you didn't understand some piece as well as you thought you did. Not just you specifically, like people. And so it's worth us all taking this time to make sure that we understand the pieces. Does that make sure? Does that make sure? Does that make sense? What other questions do we have?
What'd you get at the grocery store?
I got some cheese and some olives and the only crackers I could find that didn't have soybean oil or canola oil or some other nonsense.
Good job.
And something else, some V8s, which are relatively healthy, a little high in sodium, but other than that,
They're disgusting.
I think they're really good. They're also kind of expensive. I'd be better off making some other stuff, and I'm better off not buying these individually packaged cheeses, which I will do when I do and meal prep all these things. But I didn't have that, and so I went and got a bunch of things that were whole foods and quick.
Corbin was like,
What other questions do y'all have on this math lesson? Did you say cheese?
he was saying cheese.
This particular cheese that I bought is not as good as I thought it was going to be, which is a shame. It's just it's a sharp cheddar, but it's like not very sharp cheddar, and so it's kind of like depressing. But it was what was there and was quick and portioned out, and so that I could easily do calories, which is something I need to meal prep so that I don't have to do it at the store. But
There we are.
here we are.
Consider it dull cheddar.
You should listen to
It was boring cheddar. It's not terrible. It could be worse. I could have bought Colby. Ugh.
Dad, what thing do you eat? What thing is that inedible and you're supposed to eat that will cut your tongue?
Pineapple tries to digest your tongue, but that's not really cutting it.
Sharp cheddar.
Okay, we should take a little quiz.
Page 2000, no.
No, page 100.